This was requested by Speed Punch. And what if Raditz took Gohan to raise? The change being Raditz not brushing off his upset battle power as a malfunction, and seeing Gohan as a great asset if he can become as merciless as he. As Goku and Piccolo arrive, Raditz immediately blasts both to distract them before his attack ball's door closes, and he leaves into space. He contacts Vegeta about this new addition, with Vegeta immediately deducing the potential of hybrids, but refutes expanding them, telling Raditz to wait for them on planet Frieza once they head back. Goku decides to see if Brief can reconstruct his attack ball he came to Earth in, so they can go to space and save Gohan. Piccolo says they could use the Dragon Balls to teleport wherever Raditz is, but both acknowledge the huge risk facing him could be at their current level. Using the gravity room in the ship, Goku requests when remembering the Room of Spirit and Time, while Bulma uses the Dragon Balls to get the coordinates for the Saiyan's base. Goku and Piccolo go in there, wanting to make sure there's a backup plan. Kami still invites the Earthlings to learn from him. Meanwhile, Raditz puts Gohan through a regime of harming Gohan's body to condition him into a fighter, but ends up angering him enough that he barely survives Gohan lashing out, as both are put in medical machines. Raditz finally experiences the Saiyan power trait, and knows they may be able to overthrow Frieza if only they had more time to utilize it. Raditz continues this until Nappa and Vegeta return, with Raditz then showing the results in being able to match Nappa, but the Saiyans are then given their next mission before they can go further. All the while, Gohan's need to survive feeds into his Saiyan instincts as he becomes more aggressive, immediately lashing out and taking the lives of those who attack him on their first mission, and Vegeta seeing how much of an ideal Saiyan he can become. At the same time, he wonders if Raditz may use Gohan to usurp him, but doesn't do anything when not wanting to seem scared of these two. He isn't the only one wary of Gohan, with Zarbon Scouter having him note how anomalous this battle power is for a young low-class Saiyan, but Frieza, having been made aware of his background, brushes it off as no concern, as long as Vegeta and the rest aren't given the opportunity to repopulate on Earth or another planet. Goku and Piccolo arrive at planet Frieza only a short while after the Saiyans have left, with a limited amount of senzu. Both are only able to handle 20 times gravity and reach the level of Goku's post-Kaio self, easily defeating the regular soldiers, but having the misfortune of Frieza, Zarbon and Dodoria still being there. Both are easily defeated, but Frieza spares them when amused by seeing Saiyans fight each other. He also says it's curious there are Namekians on Earth, which changes Piccolo's worldview. He tells them where Raditz has gone, while excluding all details on who he is to them, when seeing it as spoiling the fun to execute them when they'd inevitably attack him. Goku and Piccolo arrive to confront the Saiyans. Raditz tries testing how much Gohan has changed, but Goku, being there, has his humanity overcome his rage, and attack the Saiyans only for Vegeta to knock him out. Goku then fights Raditz, and Piccolo fights Nappa. Though they overpower their Saiyan opponents, the fights go on long enough. Vegeta decides to intervene, defeating both and taking Piccolo's life. Filled with sadness and rage at being unable to protect his son, Goku suddenly becomes a Super Saiyan, but the additional rage of how Gohan has been manipulated and not going through Kaio's teachings or 100 times gravity to better refine his mind makes him so filled with rage that he spares none of the trio before telling Bulma what's happened on the ship's screen. Both come to the conclusion Namek may have Dragon Balls, with Goku heading across planets until finding someone who can tell him Namek's coordinates. Meanwhile, Vegeta's scouter exploding during the battle has Frieza decide it's time to get rid of Goku, as he sends Dodoria and Zarbon to track him down. Goku eventually arrives arrives on Namek, where the Saichoro unlocks his potential so he can best protect Gohan from other threats, which include Dodoria and Zarbon when their trail eventually leads them there, but he spares them and Nail puts them down instead. Frieza then arrives and reveals he is the one the Saiyan served, with Goku then transforming into a Super Saiyan and finishing him off with a Kamehameha before he can think of transforming, when determined to let no more harm come to Gohan. After that, Piccolo is revived and teleported to Namek. Having his desires for world domination fade away, Piccolo has his potential unlocked and comes to spar with Goku as a friend, when knowing how strong those out in space can be. Cold heads to Namek when hearing of Frieza having been defeated there, but enough Namekians merge with Nail when sensing his huge ki approaching, but is quickly dealt with. Gohan's aggression, still being part of his personality, has his Saiyan blood desire to spar with his father and Piccolo more. Goku succumbs to the heart virus, and Piccolo isn't able to change things against 17 and 18, but Gohan's greater rage has him awaken Super Saiyan immediately after. Still having a ship to get to Namek though, Gohan goes there with Bulma to get someone to act as the new Kami, as well as her making the wishes to restore Goku's body, remove all traces of the virus from it, and then revive him. After reviving 17 and 18's victims with Earth's Dragon Balls, Goku says the only thing that might have a chance against 17 and 18 he picked up in Otherworld is the Genki Dama, but decides it's better to use the Room of Spirit and Time with Gohan. Piccolo decides to merge with Kami and opposes the twins. 17 weaker than his History 1 self, Piccolo manages to destroy him, but uses up enough stamina 18 eliminates him again. A change in the room is Gohan not needing to become a Super Saiyan, has the sparring go quicker, and Gohan's greater fighting instincts have him awaken Super Saiyan 2 just before they leave. When Goku emerges and overpowers 18, he tries to convince her to change her ways, but her frustrations make her unwilling as he's forced to put her down. Piccolo is then revived 136 days later, along with Kuririn and Chaozu, and peace comes to Earth for now. Gohan tries to stick to studying, but his Saiyan blood has him keep up training with his father, Chi-Chi acknowledging how important it is to be strong enough to defend himself with how much the events with Raditz escalated. Goten also spars with both from an early age, and even unlocks Super Saiyan 2 by the time the Buu arc begins. Goku also tutors Videl well on ki control, to the point she defeats Popovich. The Budokai also changes in Tenshinhan and Chaozu, taking Vegeta and 18's places. The main events go the same until entering Babdi's ship, where not only do Yamcha, Ten, and Chaozu come along to be spat on, but Piccolo goes in and defeats Whipwi, Goku overloading Yakon, and a far more battle-ready Gohan trouncing Dabra as Babdi's plans are quickly foiled. As for the Budokai, Yamcha and Bulma having a chance to get back together and even further their relationship still had a version of Trunks be born, who convinces Goten to go about with the Mighty Mask disguise after Goten wins the junior division, and they become the adult champion due to this. Daima as we know it doesn't happen, with Goma staying safe in the Daimakai, and Arinsu being forced to work with him. As for Super, without Vegeta coming to Earth, Tarbell is eventually hunted down by Abor and Kador. There are thereby not enough pure-hearted Saiyans for Beerus to have the dream. With the Ginyu Tokusentai around, Sorbet has far more success in maintaining a rule in Frieza's absence, especially when finding Vampa, where Ginyu body changes with Broly, and Sorbet then sets his sights on Earth, sensing such an enormous ki as Ginyu's approaching it. Shin and Kibito warn the Dragon Team, even giving them permission to use the Zeto sword. In doing so, Piccolo and Gohan get their potential unleashed, and Goku even goes through the same when acknowledging he can't be too picky against such a threat, especially if a remnant of Frieza's empire. With Gohan still having his tail, Rodai Kaioshin also teaches him how to become what we know as Super Saiyan 4 on top of this. With it bringing his power to his natural limits, he is able to best Ginyu, whose mindset when using the Ikari mode is too uncontrolled for him to body change, as Gohan, Goku, and Piccolo finish him off. The other events of Super thereby don't occur until the Gammas appear, where sparring with Gohan, when knowing what kind of strong opponents can still appear, has Piccolo be as strong as his post-wish self already, but still infiltrates Red Pharmaceuticals, and Gohan easily pacifies the Gammas. No Cell meaning no Cell Max. That said, Cell is eventually unleashed in age 788, but even with Dabra and Broly's cells, no major battles on Earth since the Gammas make him underprepared for Gohan and Piccolo. The same is true with ignoring Super, where Goku would have still progressed far more after the battle with Dabra. Popo thereby stops Pilaf when he comes to the Shinden in GT, and Baby's development goes undisturbed until Shin sees him as enough of a threat to bring Goku, Gohan, Goten, and Piccolo to the Kaioshinkai to use the Zeto sword. Rodai Kaioshin agrees to unlock their potential without a catch, when seeing Baby's grand superization plan as damaging enough to mortal development. It's his duty to stop it. This includes him teaching Gohan how to become a Super Saiyan 4 on top of this. With this, Baby has no chance by the time he comes to Earth, and no reason to overuse the Dragon Balls has GT's plot end there. Goku senses his life coming to an end, and asks Piccolo if he wants to settle their rivalry. Piccolo has grown enough to say he'd rather spend his time with his friend peacefully, when no longer the daimao he was long ago. Goku spends his time with his family, and is proud of Gohan having become so strong, reminding him to balance his traits as a scholar and warrior to bring the future down the good path. It's here we see the duality of Gohan's Saiyan and Earthling natures, though Raditz would have brought out the former in a negative manner. Goku being able to refine it would help bring out the balance important to Gohan's role as a martial artist. Thank you for watching this What If. Request your own, like and subscribe, and check out old ones if wanting to see another on Gohan that eventually led to him gaining Super Saiyan 4. Perhaps check out this one on if he met Videl earlier.